We've seen plenty of games based on movies, and even a lot of movies based on games, but why on earth would anybody ever make a game based on a movie that was based on a game? In a bad movie to boot. Apparently, Capcom thought this would be a good idea. It was originally released in the arcade, but the arcade version actually differs from the console version a bit. The arcade version was developed by incredible technologies and bears little resemblance to a Street Fighter game. The console version was developed by Capcom, so it actually somewhat feels like a Street Fighter game, but we'll get into that in a bit. The movie was pretty bad, so why would we want to sit through a montage of clips from it? I'm gonna go ahead and skip this. And just trust me when I say there's nothing here worth seeing. Now let me start off by saying the announcer guy sounds weird. He's got some kind of accent I can't seem to pinpoint, and honestly, he just bugs me. He's kind of creepy.
Next fight! You win. Bison versus Chun-Li. Fight!
So as you can see, the graphics are digitized using the actors from the movie, with the exception of Raul Julia, who I believe had already passed away by the time they started development on the game. The quality of the fighters look good, but as far as the fighters themselves, well, see, that's where the problem starts. Like I said, these are the actors from the movie, and they didn't exactly get the most convincing people, if you know what I mean. I mean, look at Balrog. He looks flabby and unintimidating. These don't look like the Street Fighters I know and love. Akuma is an unlockable character in the game, and he's the only fighter in the game not featured in the movie, so they just hired some goofy-looking Asian guy to play him. But he's still Akuma, so yes, he does kick some ass in the game and might be my favorite fighter. Move animations also struggle a bit. They don't move all that smoothly, and at times the actual positions of the characters during moves look a bit stiff and awkward. Kicks feature more limited reach than past Street Fighter games, and that can get a bit annoying. In addition to Street Battle mode, which is your basic fighting game mode, there's also Movie Battle, which sets you up as Guile, following along the movie's storyline rather loosely. There's pretty awful cutscenes, and you get to choose between different fights along the way. It's really boring, to be honest. The game plays like a Street Fighter, for the most part. It's actually kind of entertaining, and the controls aren't that bad, though it is a bit on the delayed side and doesn't run as smooth as it should. Combos don't always follow through, and hit detection can be a problem at times. The game continues with the super moves introduced in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Your fighter's super meter will fill up quite fast though. I guess it's not a bad thing, it just feels a little too easy to gather a super move. I've definitely played worse handling fighters. Don't know if I've played one as ugly though. Okay, maybe Pit Fighter. Now speaking of ugly, the backgrounds are pretty generic looking. I'd say maybe 2 or 3 of them look good, but for the most part, they're dark, boring, and lack any color. I guess that's just how the movie looked, but it's kind of depressing here in the game. So let's talk about the best part of the game. The music. Yes, that's the best part of the game. The menu and cutscene music is just bad, but some of the level themes actually retain that classic Street Fighter feel to them. The sound effects, on the other hand, are just so-so. The voice acting isn't the best. As I already mentioned, the game's announcer sounds weird, and the other sounds are all just decent. That being said, I would rather listen to this game than look at it if I had to choose one. The game also features endings, but they are disappointing to say the least. I mean, look at this. Yeah. In conclusion, it plays like a rusty Street Fighter, it looks like a low-budget Mortal Kombat, and at times has some good music. Is it worth buying? Well, if you just have to have every Street Fighter title, then I guess. Or if you're weird like me and actually take joy in owning notoriously bad games, then sure. But be warned, what you see is what you get. A hidden gem this game is not.
Street Fighter.